Oh, I was also going to let you know that I will occasionally highlight and unhighlight your video. And if you want to see something different, you can just change it on your own screen by hitting gallery. You probably know that already. So if you want to, if you're seeing just yourself and you want to change it, you can do whatever you want, no matter what I'm doing.
Do I unmute now or do I keep it muted?
You can keep it muted till I introduce you if you want. It doesn't really matter. Okay. All right. So hello, everybody out there on Facebook Live. We're going to open the doors in just about 30 seconds. Glad you're here today. All right, gang, I'm going to admit all. Everybody ready? Here we go. Hello, everybody. Hello, it's so good to see everybody today. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. It's a rare day when I know what day it is. So glad to see all your smiling faces. Thank you so much for being here today. Hello and welcome to the Washington Rebels Carpe Diem Arts Daily Antidote of Songs. Greeting to everybody out there on Facebook Live. Glad you're with us today. Thanks for joining for our important celebration of Native American Heritage Month. And I want to say hi to everybody in this room. Hello to Toby in California. It's a weekend and our teacher Toby is with us. So glad you're here today, Toby. We're missing you all week long. Hello, Kathleen in Albuquerque, Dennis in British Columbia, Carolyn in Idaho, hello. David in upstate New York, hello. Hello, Isabel in Florida, and Deborah in Kentucky, and Sheila in Florida, hello. Bonnie in Idaho, Susan in Idaho. There's two Idahos right next to each other. You guys can turn this way and wave to each other. Hello, Anne. You both turn the same direction. Hello, Anne. Great to see you today from DC. Kathy in Virginia, Jamie in BC, Jan in Edmonton, Beryl in Chicago. Without Colin today. I know that's a sad face. I see that. I'm glad you're here, though. Hello, Adele in DC, and Trish in British Columbia. Kevin in New Hampshire. Glad you're with us again today, Kevin. Hello. Oh, very funny, Karen in Arizona. That's a little smart. Very nice. Hello, Nancy in Vermont. Great to see you, Pete and Janet in Toronto, or the Pete half. Glad to see you today. Hugs to Janet. Hello, Tom in BC. Lynn in Connecticut. Hello. Jamie in BC. Glad you're here today in Victoria. Jan, I believe in maybe also BC, or maybe the Yukon, or maybe somewhere else altogether. Hello to, let's see who else we have here. Ida coming in from Cambridge, hello. Susan in Seattle, hello. Nicola coming in from the UK, glad you're with us today. Hello, Betsy, nice to have you today. I think you might be new to us. And for folks off video, hello to Elias and Joni and Carol and another Carol, Gwen, Francette and Dale, Greg Lewis, Jane, and oh, hello, Elias. I think I said Elias. Hello, Elias, nice to see you today. And hello, and thank you to all of you again for being here. And also again, hello to everybody else on Facebook Live. So very excited about today's program. As I mentioned in the email, we're gonna go longer today just because we can. And if you can't, you should feel free to drop out at any point, but we're hoping that lots of you will stay with us for this honoring of Native American Heritage Month. We have an incredible program ready today for you, and I think you're gonna really enjoy it. A couple quick notes and announcements as per usual, and I'm sorry if you've heard them thousands of times, well, or if you've heard them 230 times, because this is about 230 days here. We are here every day at noon Eastern Standard Time, always here singing one song together, or sometimes on lucky days doing even more. And we welcome anyone and everyone. Please let your friends know about it. We love having folks in the room and love having folks on Facebook Live with us. My email is in the chat, both here and on Facebook. If you need to be in touch, if you have suggestions, comments, questions, or you want to be on our daily email list, please go ahead and email me. I love hearing from folks. There is a donate link either in the chat box or going in any moment now. And usually I say thank you so much for your donations, and all of it goes to the performing artists. who are in this room with us. Today, I'm going to add that we are just announced yesterday a special fundraiser. Anyone who donates to the Daily between December 4 and 15 is going to be eligible for 5 cocktail and song personal parties. That is myself and one other artist. It will be in the room with you and 20 of your guests. And we will spend an hour and some singing and chatting with you. The 5 highest donors are going to receive one of those. And everyone else who donates is going to be invited to a bigger holiday cocktail song party on December 23rd, which is to say anybody who donates is invited to that. And it's also to say anybody who can't donate is still invited to that. So we will look forward to hopefully singing and celebrating with lots of you at that point. Another quick note, Elise Witt, who sang with us during the Archive Challenge Week, has offered a really cool project. The link is in the chat. Hope many of you can join us for that project as well. It was inspired by her time with us here in the Daily. And last little announcement, I hope, is that we are starting a discussion group, books and film. Our first film that we picked is a film called The Antidote. That's a little bit on purpose. And it's a really amazing film. Whether you can join us for the discussion or not, hope that you will get a chance to see the film. Very, very inspiring during these times. And it was made before these times. So it's actually even more inspiring to know that everybody's been out there thinking all this same stuff, but now we're just thinking it a little louder. Also, note there is one more announcement. Our season of reveling, the tickets for our December 20 show are now on sale. If you are interested in joining us for our big extravaganza on December 20, we'd love to celebrate with you in there as well. Thank you to Aaron Geyer, who is running the tech for us today. Thank you to all of you for listening to me say the same things over and over and over again. And hope at least those of you who are new today enjoyed all of that. All right, without any further babbling, I would like to bring in today's artist, Wade Fernandez, who is coming to us from the Menominee Reservation in Wisconsin. He is a singer, songwriter, flute player, musician, activist, and all around amazing guy. And Wade, we are so excited to be here with you today. Wade was actually, I was introduced to Wade by Joe Jenks, who came to us through the Archive Challenge Week. Joe sends his regrets to all of you. He is in a place without enough Wi-Fi to be able to join us today, but he was going to be here to help me introduce Wade. And so Joe, we miss you and we can't wait to sing with you again. And Wade, welcome. We're really glad you're here.
Posa Natanui Makanuk, Mishik Manuiak, Machituak Aswesian, Wichiwin a piece Mahwao, Wade Fernandez, Mokaman and Aswesian, Oasin a Totem. I just spoke to you in the Menominee language. It's the language of part of my ancestors, and I'm coming from the Menominee Reservation right now. I'm looking out my window, and it's forest and lakes. I have 2 lakes right next to me. I'm on one side, and just across the road is the next lake and the beaver dam, and I can pick wild cranberries at a bog about a half a mile away. And our reservation is over like 95% forest, wild forest. So an astronaut was once going up in space, and he looked down and he said, "What is that beautiful gem, green jewel down there?" And they said, "That's the Menominee Reservation." So when they go up into outer space, sometimes they use it as kind of like a landmark to see where they are, you know? So that's where I am right now. I'm coming to you from the Menominee Reservation. And what I said in the Menominee language was, "Hello, all my relatives." And I said my Menominee name, Wichu in a piece, Mahwao, and it sort of translates to "walks with the black wolf." And I also said, I said my Mokaman name, like my European type of name, Wade Fernandez. And then finally, I said my clan, I'm from the Bear Clan. I'm going to see if I can, as I'm speaking, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to put this on my Facebook page so people can tune in at the same time, because I didn't think about that, and I'm learning. I'm new to this program, so my first time here. But anyway,
So
that's
Wade,
all right. Maybe they can tune in another time and watch the rerun of it.
So Wade, if you
anyway,
want,
what I would like to do is start.
Oh, he can't hear me because he
I'd
doesn't
like
have
to
headphones
start with a. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't have my headphones on.
That's okay. I was going to say, I will throw the Facebook link into the chat right now so that if you want to put that, or Aaron, can you do it? Go ahead and throw today's live link into the chat or our live page. And then Wade, you can throw that onto your Facebook page if you want to do that. And so
Okay.
it's going to just pop up in the chat right now from Aaron. And there you go. If they go there, they can find you. And we're actually happy to wait while you do that because we love the idea that your folks are going to be out there joining in with us.
Okay, well, I'll keep talking while I'm doing it. So, it's when I said post all my relatives, this is how we survive this time. You know, right now we're going through this pandemic, and as Menominee people, we've been here for since the Ice Age, and in this land in what's now called Wisconsin, and mostly northeastern Wisconsin and upper Michigan, but it was through thinking of each other as relatives that we were able to survive this and survive genocide, you know, survive, Columbus Day, survive boarding schools, and survive even things more current like the Spanish flu and now coronavirus. It's being able to look at each other and think of everybody like brother, sister, grandfather, grandmother, niece or nephew. And that's our traditional way, and it's a way that I think still holds a lot of power and will forever if we are to survive things like this. So I'm going to see if I can copy this link and put it in. So with that in mind, I want to start by doing something on the native flute. And when I play on this instrument, it's pretty much always just playing whatever's in the moment. So it's not like a song that I composed. Maybe it could be like a spontaneous composition, but it's composed by all of us here, all of us in the room, all of our relatives, you know, and our relatives extend beyond people, you know, like the wind outside, the water, the lakes outside, the leaves on the ground. And there's no snow right now where I am. It melted, but you know, all these relatives, and connecting with that, and knowing that they're relatives, so we have that respect. You know, it is a little bit difficult to multitask because I know what I'm trying to say. Live right now. I'll just say live right now here.
And I can fill in the gap while you're working just by saying to anybody who jumped in, who's new or who came in after we made our announcements, we are here with Wade Fernandez, coming in from the Menominee tribe in Wisconsin, or in the Menominee Nation in Wisconsin. And we're super glad to be singing with him today. He is actually going to be taking us through a longer program than we usually do. And we're very grateful that we're going to have extra time and music and stories and discussion today to honor Native American Heritage Month. So this is me filling space. How am I doing, gang? Can I get a thumbs up?
Very good.
Well, thank you. Did it work? And were you able to get it in? Great.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joanne. And I'm going to put the headphones up because I'm so if I don't hear, if I see mouths moving, I'll grab the headphones. Otherwise, I kind of look like Mickey Mouse with them on. Only like a much older version, but not the black and white one, you know, from the old days before they had color. And so this here is Papiquin Kakituatum, and it translates to "it's crying out," and the sound of it is almost like a it's kind of mournful in a way. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to think of everybody and honor all of our relatives, you know, like I said, not just the people, but honor all of our relatives. And also think of all of you that have gone through or are still going through COVID. And it's something that we have to remember affects all of us, not just if we get it, but also economically, mentally, in so many ways, you know. So this is just, you know, like kind of, you know, maybe if you can put some good thoughts for your relatives and maybe some prayers for your relatives as we do this. So here we go. Thank you so much, Rowan, and I love that kind of applause. And I think just like that, the last thing that I just did, it's like I can't take credit for it, but what I can take credit for is just I guess being open and being open to all of you and being open to everything that's around. And that's, I think, every one of us are gifted. Every one of us has something to share, whether it's a smile or it's a song. Um, and I feel like that's just something that we have to be open to so it can flow through us. So like some of the greatest songs that came through me, it's like it's so hard to be able to claim credit because it's more it's like this beautiful river flowing, and I was just able to like step into it, and along with whoever's in the audience or along with whoever's listening to it. So thank you for that, because I think that also honors all of our ancestors, and all of us that are open to the arts and to the music and to life in general. I want to you might wonder why I got last name of Fernandez. My grandfather, he came up from what's now called Mexico before there were any man-made borders, and he brought his younger brother, and they traveled, and the story I heard was the parents passed, and so he took his younger brother looking for work and looking for a better life. And he made it up onto the Menominee Reservation, where I live now, and he met my grandmother, and he spoke pretty much only Spanish, and she pretty much only spoke Menominee, and but they both were musicians, so they both spoke music. So if you want to like kind of have that story going in your head, I'm just going to do a little bit of part of one of my songs that honors my grandparents. All right, well, I appreciate that. Um, I want to, this is my first time on the show, so I kind of really didn't have any clue what I was going to do. But I heard from Joe that it was something to do with Alan Lomax, and that was some months back. And so I thought, okay, Alan Lomax, and because I grew up on the reservation here, and it's kind of like its own place, so I don't really, as a kid, I didn't really have much access to things off the reservation. There was a library off the reservation that had some records, and so I would borrow whatever was there. But I do remember at some point running across some Alan Lomax things that he had recorded, and I'm not going to play it today, but there's a lot of blues influence in a lot of my music, and some of that, I think part of it was listening to some of the old Alan Lomax things, and also there's some folk and country in there too, because my grandfather, one of my grandfathers, not the one that I just sang about, he played the fiddle, and I learned how to play guitar sort of by just listening to whatever he played and then trying to figure out anything that would fit with whatever he did, so he just played, and as soon as I learned 2 chords, he wanted me to jam with him, and so like, okay, I think that chord fits right there, and that was, so I was like training my ears, and so anyway, I'm gonna do a song that I just wrote like about a day and a half ago or something, so I don't really remember it, but it's called "I Will Bring the Sunset's Fine Gold," and that was just inspired by those times sitting with my grandfather, and also how Alan Lomax captured so much of the beautiful music that was around that we wouldn't have heard otherwise. Go and find that treasure you seek. Go and find that treasure now, go. Go and find that treasure, but if you lose your soul, I will bring the sunset's fine gold. Go and swim that river so deep. Go and swim up river now, go. Go and swim up river, but if you drown your soul, I will bring the sunset's fine gold. Go and find that fortune you seek. Go and find that fortune now, go. Go and find your fortune, but if you abuse your soul, I will share that sunset's fine gold. I will share that sunset's fine gold. I will share that sunset. I will share that sunset. I will share that sunset's fine gold. So a little bit of a brand new song. In fact, I'm going to do another new song I wrote. And I wrote this one just right after John McCain passed, Representative John McCain. And I was thinking about all of the movements, all of the things that we've had to stand up for, whether it's George Floyd or it's Standing Rock, standing up against the mining companies that are about to poison our water, and for Menominee people right now, it's the Back 40 mine. Just a little while ago, it was standing up for the Wolf River, and unfortunately, that one is put off to the side a little bit for now. And I've been doing this for probably like writing songs probably for to stand up for probably about 20 years now already, and it seems like some of the songs have to keep coming back out of retirement because all of a sudden there's a new mine in your backyard. There's a new thing that we have to stand up for, for just human rights, basic rights. So this song is called Stand in Love, because we need to be able to stand up, not with a closed fist, but with an open hand, so we can bring people along, so we can take our children and teach them, and our hearts and our love is more powerful, than a fist, and unfortunately, we have to be aggressive sometimes, but, really the most power comes from your heart and from reaching out and holding hands. And so that's what this song is, it's another new song, and I'm gonna try a monumental task of putting out a new CD before the end of December. And the funny thing about it is that in 2019 in December, I had some friends donate some money and said, "We want your songs on the CD." And so I went in the studio, and then and I had enough for like 3 days with I had drums and bass, and we just tracked like 15 songs with drums and bass. And then I was out of money, and then COVID hit. But in the what I did with some of the money was I made a CD, but there's no music on it. The discs are in there, and there's no song tracks. Instead, I put this will be like a live performance. When you get it, it'll be what's in that moment. But the next time I see you, there might be other songs on it, because I knew going into it I didn't know if I'd have the budget to complete it. But the thing is, it says 2020 on here, and 2020 is almost over. And so I'm gonna try to finish up some of those tracks in the studio, and then put some live stuff. And then guess what else? It's a double CD. So I got a huge task. But I'm gonna try to put this, the last song that I just wrote a day and a half ago, I'll try to put that on there. And as well as Stand in Love, because we're going through times that we need to stand up, and we need to stand up with our hearts for our children. So, stand in love. On the streets with tired feet, we stand up tall for love's dreams. Keep the peace, don't let them feed all the hurt that we bleed. Love is strong, fear is weak. Just hold on, plant the seeds. Stand your ground so the child can breathe. Stand together, stand in peace. Stand in love, we will shout out for love. Stand in love, we will rise and soar above. Stand in love, we will rise up in love. We will never fall in love or fall down if we stand in love. Stand in love. That's the fun thing about doing stuff live, especially with songs that you only kind of freshly wrote, because it's in the moment. You gotta kind of be in the moment all the time. Stand in love. They can try to break us down. Please don't feed the beast they crowned. All our strength can be found deep inside the sacred ground. We were born to be free, taking care of those in need. Freedom's call, one for all. So we'll stand so we may fall. Sing with me. Stand in love, we will shout out for love. Stand in love, we will rise up above. Stand in love, we will stand fast for love. We will never fall in love or fall down if we stand in love. Stand in love. Stand in love. Stand in love, 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 love. Stand in 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 love. Thank you so much, Joanne. Appreciate that. A lot of times when songs come through me, they're kind of like also like like a river when it's flowing. It also like, okay, here's a rock. Okay, I gotta flow around it, you know, and I have to figure out what to do. And oh, a tree fell in the water, you know, so I gotta figure out how to go around it. And that's the beauty of live, and also the beauty of creativity and being in the moment, is that you have to not panic when those things are there. You have to just trust that you can get around it, you know, in life. And so like that song, you know, I don't really know the chords that I'm playing. It's in a different tuning that I don't normally use, but it's just fun because it gives me something to play around with, you know. So it's like I'm in the water, but I'm also playing, you know. So right now I'm just improvising, and that's what I was doing during some of the songs. And those moments are precious, you know. And so as these songs are coming, sometimes, like I said, they flow in a different direction. So I might take a song like this, and maybe the next time I perform it, it might be a completely different song, you know, or maybe even a different melody. In fact, let me show you something. I'm going to switch over to another guitar. And one time I was doing this. I was just playing. Let's see. I got sunshine on a cloudy day. When it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. Yeah, yeah. You know, and so I was just playing around with it, and it was like, it got to the point where it was like, this is not the same song whatsoever, except for the lyrics. And so then I wrote lyrics and gave it a title, and it's another song that's going to be on the new CD, but it's like this is how I ended up. Maybe to find a man strong as nails with callous hands, heart of stone, don't understand. Yeah, yeah. And gentle touch is better than an angry man with strong demands. There's a better plan. And then sing the chords. When I'm weak, in another cheek, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's understand, it takes love to make a man. It takes love to make a man. And so it's like a musical playground. It's like, you know, you just jump in the water and you float. And I really stress, like, anybody out there, you know, because like this is a hard time we're going through with COVID-19. And we have friends and family that are suffering. So it's so important to take a little bit of time out to share something, you know, but share something that you're passionate about, something that you like, whether it's music or it's art or whatever. But don't hold back because you're putting that judgment cap on, you know, you're putting a hat on that says, okay, I'm not good enough. You're putting something out there to share something. You're think about it like this. When you were a child and you had maybe a relative that was sick or a parent and it was their birthday and you wanted to give them a card, maybe you're like 4 years old or something, 5 years old, and you're not spelling their name correctly and you don't even know all your letters yet, you know, and you don't color in the lines and stuff, but you make something and you give it to them and they're so happy. And it's not judging it, it's just giving, and so they can receive it. And And so if you have something to give, something to share, don't wait too long, because life is short and they might not be around, by the time you feel you're ready to give, so give freely, give now. And that's also the beauty of these live streams, is that there's no editing. It's just the way it is. When Joe was speaking, I'm sure there was a few little bloopers in the show, every single day. And I did the same thing when COVID-19 hit. I was in a school doing a 4-day presentation workshop, and then somebody came in and said the school's going to be closed, and they're closing all through the state. And then I had 3 tours of Europe lined up. I had my first tour in Hawaii coming up. I had a lot of schools, a lot of concerts. Everything was canceled. And I was sitting there for a week, kind of like, okay, what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden, somebody asked me if I'd do a live stream concert, and so I did at 2:00 in the afternoon. That the next day, that was through an organization. The next day, I took my phone and I did one in my living room, and it was all messy and stuff. But I thought, I'm going to try this, because I noticed on that day it was worth it to put something out there, even though I was really nervous, because on the internet, you don't know how cruel some people can be sometimes. Well, you do actually know, because they're hiding behind a screen and you don't know them. So I was a little worried, I was scared, and I do just like I did now. I played brand new songs that I just wrote the night before, and I started that way before I played some other ones. I was so nervous, and I'm used to playing for a lot of people, but I also get nervous once in a while, and I was really nervous. All of a sudden, I saw comments coming in. Oh, thank you, people in Italy. We're in quarantine right now. We're going through COVID-19 right now. This really helps. So it showed to me that this needs to get out there. So I did, from that day forward, I did about 40 consecutive days of 2:00 every day. And there was so many bloopers and so many things, and I'm scrambling to get all this stuff set up and how to develop it and how to make it work, the technology and the software, and what to play the next day, bring in guests. I did that too, and how to make that work. So the important thing is just to deliver, to stand and deliver, to show up and deliver. And that's a huge, huge thing. Every one of us has something to give, to share, and that's important. It's really important. And you have to give yourself. You can't pretend you're anybody else. You can't think you got to be as good as anybody else. You just have to deliver you, and then we'll be able to make medicine. We'll be able to heal people, heal each other and ourselves. It's reciprocal. It goes around. If you give, things come back. So I wanna share something. I want to share another song. So I'm from the Menominee Reservation, and let me get a drink of tea. And we used to occupy all of like northeastern Wisconsin and up into upper Michigan. And like I said before, we go back from the Ice Age. Our stories go back to the time when all the ice covered the land. And a really short version of history. I did a whole show on Thanksgiving last week. I think it was two hours on Thanksgiving and fact and fiction stuff. But briefly, when the settlers came, and some people say pilgrims, sometimes there were abandoned villages because Columbus and the Spanish brought disease that spread all the way up, even as far as where I live. And so even my people, the Menominee, were affected by that. So the population was really decimated by a disease. And then when the people came from Europe on the northeastern coast, they also brought disease too. And so when the friendly Indian Squanto was, the Thanksgiving story, he was actually a slave who was brought over to Europe, and then somehow he made it back. And when he made it back, his people were gone, and so they were surprised because he could speak English, and he could also speak the native languages around him. So and he only lived to be 33 years old, you know, so I don't know if it was disease, they don't have much, or if somebody killed him. But it's not a pretty story. And there were massacres that were celebrated with Thanksgiving feast. There's a lot to go into that. But when the settlers came and they they found land occupied by native people, and they weren't told that over in Europe. You know, a lot of them were told it was all free for the taking and stuff like that. And some of them were oppressed, and some of them had big stories, and some of them came over with just the interest of, you know, greed too, because that's what happens with all societies. There's those that are really needing help, and there's those that look for how can I gain. So coming into where I live on the Menominee Reservation, it was we were on this land where we roamed free, and then our people were put onto a small reservation, and we had, you know, probably heard of the Trail of Tears. We had our own stories like that. We had our different bands of Menominee throughout the state before it was a state, and into Upper Michigan before it was a state, and we all had to move to the reservation. Some of them had to walk in the winter with their children for miles and miles and miles. And so, really long story short, we went to boarding schools, and a lot of our ancestors, and we were forcibly taught not to speak our language. We were considered evil and pagan if we practiced our culture and language, and we didn't have religious freedom as Native people till about 1978. So it's a long story of a lot of pain and a lot of historical trauma. And now we're here during COVID-19, and just a few weeks back, our reservation in Wisconsin, Menominee Reservation, was number 11 for the worst cases of COVID-19, or the worst percentage-wise of COVID-19. Number 11 out of 3,431 counties, I think it is, in the United States. So I don't know how we stand right now as far as those numbers, but it's not going away. And you add on top of that the historical trauma, you add on top of that the poverty that came with the historical trauma, the hardship, the abuse that came with the boarding school system, and you know, you inherit that abuse, you inherit those things. And so in order to survive, you do things like humor. You know, you find ways to inject humor into things. Real quick example, I got a song called Commodity Cheese Blues, and commodities were the government surplus foods that were handed to us. In our treaties, sometimes it would say, like, I'm speaking for all Native people, not all, but a lot of our treaties said, if you give us this land, we'll take care of you, we'll give you education, which were boarding schools, we'll give you food, and we'll take away your weapons of mass destruction so you can't hunt anymore, but we'll provide food, which were the government surplus foods that were really not very healthy for our bodies, because the sturgeon, the wild rice that were known for all these different things were what our bodies needed. And so when this white flour came in with the commodities, the USDA government surplus foods, when the unrefined or refined or whatever it is, the sugars came in, all that stuff came in, and it just really made us so, like, diabetes is basically about 1 out of every 3 people, you know, because our bodies aren't used to that kind of stuff. It takes a long time for a body to change over to the foods. And unfortunately, a lot of those foods, even the Europeans eat, are not the same, you know? So you add all that stuff on top of us, and that's why we're such at risk with COVID-19. Even some of our young people have passed from it, you know? So humor is one of the ways to deal with things, you know, and so commodity cheese, it's these big gold bricks of cheese, and I made a music video about it. I worked at the Kamat shop for $208 a month, and that was my first job out of high school, $208 a month, a government program called RNIP, Relief for Needy Indian Persons. And I needed a job. And so I wrote a song called Commodity Cheese Blues. And I'm just going to play part of it because I want to share one more song with you. I went downtown and get my commodities. I went downtown to get my commodities. I went downtown to the commodity shop at the blues cause they were out of stock. Tell me please when I get my commodities. Commodities, they keep me fed. My cheese and my fried bread. My cheese, somebody said it'll plug things up for you. Na 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 na. So just a little part of that song, but it's humor, you know, even in our funerals, you know, sometimes the best jokes that we have that, and maybe sometimes the best jokes that or the funniest incidents that some of our relatives, maybe one of our relatives that passed at the funeral, we share that, and then we all have a good laugh in memory of them, you know, so we have to keep that alive too. That's part of music too, and that's part of our healing. So we survive by things like that, by humor, by finding ways to deal with whatever's around us, taking something painful, like maybe the government surplus foods rather than our wild rice or our sturgeon that used to spawn here, but were cut off by a couple of dams just off from the reservation from spawning. How to survive by turning it into music and laughter and songs, you know. So I want to do one more song, and if you have to go, maybe you can tune back in because this will be archived, I believe, on the site, and also there'll be time at the end if you want, you know, for some discussion of things, if you have questions or whatever. But I want to share one more song, and this one is entirely in the Menominee language. One quick drink. I'm kind of insomniac for the past 2 days, so when you don't sleep much, you get really dry. So this one is actually a recorded song on one of my CDs, but I will improvise a bit in it as well. But it's all in the Menominee language, and the Menominee language is a really ancient language. I performed this song one time in Vienna, Austria, on their national radio, and I felt so proud that my ancestors kept the language alive long enough, you know, for somebody way over in a country like that to hear it, and over the radio, you know. So I want you to help me sing this song. So we're going to start with lesson number 1 in Menominee language. Are you ready? All right, I'm not going to make you sing the whole song, just the last, the name of the title, and the title is Sawaehnemiyah. So if you could say Sawaehnemiyah, Sawaeh, and it's like wah, ah, like when you say cat, ah, cat, Sawaehnemiyah, and what it means basically is we are blessed. And it's really important, you know, it's really important to look at the blessings that we have. But because it's those blessings that give us strength to continue the next day, to continue. Maybe we have a really hard night, but that next morning, that sun is going to rise again. Even if it's behind the clouds, it's still going to shine for you, you know. So there's always hope and there's always beauty. And you know, like maybe like right now with COVID going on, the children can still laugh and play, you know, so they teach us, they bring that sunshine for us, you know. Or maybe you have the ability to take a walk outside, and maybe you have snow, but there are things like there's evergreen trees and there's the pine trees that still have the green, and maybe sometimes there's a little green peeking up through that snow, you know. There's life all around. The hardest winter, there's still life under the under the snow, you know. So it's important to hold on to these things and to carry them with us. And that's our strength. And remember, we're connected to those relatives out there, you know, that Koko Masakamakano, Grandmother Earth, we're connected to it. So that life that's there is also part of our life, you know. And even when somebody passes on, you know, it's really, really hard. But we have all those gifts that they shared with us, and we can carry them on, and we can see those gifts in the sparkle in our children's eyes. We can see those gifts when we tell one of their jokes or something, or we have a memory, or when we share some knowledge or wisdom that they shared. So that life does continue, you know. And if you and I'm Menominee. I also have European blood, um, Mexican. So there's Native and Spanish in there. There's other things I'm a part of, but I just did something on PBS. I don't know, sometime this year, and they asked me about uh, about my ancestry, and I said, you know, if you go back far enough, um, it goes beyond people. It's before people, you know, because we have the same things that, you know, that the earth has, some of that, and even in space, you know, those things that are floating in space, part of that is us, you know, that's part of our ancestors, you know, it makes us up. Even water, you know, our bodies are made up of water, and that water was here before us, you know, and that water is being recycled continually. You know, it goes up and evaporates, and it comes back down as rain, and it filters through Grandmother Earth and comes back up, and it keeps being recycled. And so our lives are like that too, you know. And even with your children, you know, maybe your grandfather, grandmother pass away, but part of that is in them, the essence, and in the DNA and all these things. So one more drink, and I'm going to share Sawaehnemiyah. And I'll do this maybe to help give you a warning that Sawaehnemiyah is coming up. And if you have an instrument, you can play along too. It's in the key of E. Need you know what me west matter what took so many call. Need you know what's back to him. Been in said walk me can they win bon que kato ki pachki enamen que spinten Sawaehnemiyah. Let's do one for practice. Sawaehnemiyah. Need you know why some skies imagine what took main and cackle. Need you know why some nipple wild catch me you come bon que kato ki pachki enamen que spinta Sawaehnemiyah. Nachni naka wadni na mini pani mishik no inengwe. Achni kesa kenata moen ke wasakse nakas kesa ko atsakon na wa. Welcome me, Pamainen, Sakapim, shake my chin, Pamania in the kindness, Kamainen, Neon, Kikena Wapatan, Zigantampa, oh, Kato ki punchki and a man spinta We can all hum together.
Oh, Wade, thank you so much. What an amazing journey. Thank you so much for bringing us with you on that journey. That was amazing. So,
thank you.
You know, folks ask me what reveling is, and I generally say it's the creation of a space for collective joy. And I add sometimes also for collective peace. So when you were flute playing, I was definitely there in the zone of collective peace. But then you took us also on a journey of collective awareness, on a journey of collective introspection, a little bit of collective humor, some collective jamming. And it's been really, really nice to be able to go on this path with you. And I would say in response to one of your songs that in fact, we are blessed in this room today to have been able to spend this time with you and to be able to sing with you and learn from you. Thank you so much for.
Thank you. Well, it's a great honor to be able to still be able to share, you know, because so many musicians around the world and artists are having such a difficult time being able to reach out and share their gifts, and providing a platform that does it daily is tremendous, you know. So it's a great honor to, you know, to have this platform and to be able to reach people with things that they need, because everybody needs art and everybody needs to share. And you know, you guys have done it. And I want to share one thing real quick. I just looked it up on the internet, and I'm going to put it in the chat. In that song that I just sang, Sawaehnemiyah, there's a PBS website, PBS Wisconsin Education, and you can see the lyrics in both English and Menominee, and there's also a lesson plan if you want to use it in school. because we got to keep reaching out to our children, because some of our, some schools are closed, and how to reach out to children in a way that they can still get learning. And sometimes we've got to be really creative. And so I've made videos sometimes for schools, and I've done some Zoom things, but a lot of schools, it's hard, including on our reservation. We don't have Wi-Fi everywhere or internet everywhere. So they've tried to set up some satellite things for Wi-Fi for some of our people that live in places where there's no internet at all. But it's a struggle, And so any way we can help, as far as keeping the arts, keep sharing the arts, keep sharing the education, and keep sharing the love back and forth, And holidays are coming up. We just had Thanksgiving. Social distancing is so important right now. So those people on the other side of the table will be there, for the next celebration. So, we can reach out virtually. We can reach out with a phone call. I even pull up to my parents' house and talk through them through the window screen with my car, because I don't want to go in the house and with the possibility of infecting them, because they're in their mid to late 70s, So finding ways to navigate, but still share, still reach out,
Thank you. Thank you so much, Wade.
Welcome.
So Wade has been so generous as to say he will stay in the room and have a little bit of chat time with us here if anybody is interested in staying. I am going to say goodbye to everybody on Facebook Live, but for those of you out there, if you want to join us, you can go to rebelsdc.org/daily-song, and you can find the link to join us in here if you want to stick around for the discussion. But thank you so much, everybody on Facebook Live, for joining us.